गुप्ता सर शुरू करें आप?
बिल्कुल
ठीक है। डॉक्टर पुनीत प्लीज स्टार्ट।
कहते भी अपना काम करो, छाए मिल जाते।
Started streaming. Please.
चाय में ज्यादा वैसे।
Shall we start, sir?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, one and all present on this virtual event. I, Puneet Bansal, Head Department of Pharmacology, on behalf of Central University of Punjab, welcome you all, and a special welcome to our chief guest, Professor YK Gupta, sir, President of the most renowned institutes, AIIMS, Bhopal, and Jammu. We are grateful to him for accepting our invitation and becoming a speaker of today's event. Central University of Punjab celebrating 30th Foundation Week from 21st to 28th Feb under the dynamic leadership of Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Raghavendra P. Tiwari sir. As a part of Foundation Week celebration, we organized invited lectures by eminent academicians under this series. Today we have with us Professor YK Gupta sir. I again heartily welcome you, sir. Now, as a custom of our university, please stand for the university anthem.
पंजाब केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय, पंजाब केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय, संस्कृतियों का मिलन बिंदु, विज्ञान दृष्टि धारण करके विद्या की इस फुलवारी से महके देश का प्रांगण सारा, ज्ञान विज्ञान का मधुर संगम, जीवन मूल्यों का सहारा, ये नवाचार का पाठ पढ़ाता, देश विदेश की समझ बढ़ाता, भावी पीढ़ी का ये निर्माता, विश्व बंधुत्व का भाव सिखाता। तेरी शान रहे, तेरा मान रहे, पंजाब केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय, पंजाब केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय।
Thank you. Now I would like to call Professor Rajkumar, Dean, School of Health Sciences and Head, Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Natural Products, for the introduction of the speaker.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Puneet. Before I introduce our honorable speaker today, I would like to briefly introduce about the Central University of Punjab, Batinda. The university was established in 2009 by the Act of Parliament, Central University Act 2009. And in this short period of time, the university has achieved great heights, being NAC A graded, and with respect to an area of ranking, which is 84th. And H index of university is 58. Total papers are more than 1,000 and citations more than 18,000 as per the Scopus as on 12th Feb. So there are about 31 departments and 11 schools in sciences, technology, education, and humanities with PG and PhD courses. And School of Health Sciences, which I am representing, includes 3 departments: human genetics and molecular medicine, pharmaceutical sciences and natural products, and pharmacology. And 2 of the departments are DST FEAST supported. And all 3 departments, they established from 2011 onwards. And now I would like to introduce our honorable eminent speaker of today, Professor YK Gupta ji. He is currently the president of All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Bhopal, as well as AIIMS Jammu. And he specializes in pharmacology, particularly in neuropharmacology, clinical pharmacology and drug development, toxicology, and regulatory pharmacology. Professor Gupta has trained more than 50 research scholars, masters and PhD, and has published more than 390 publications in international and national journals, with citations more than 12,000 and H index of 58. He is a principal advisor, India Strategy Development, Global Antibiotic Research and Development Partnership, and Drugs for Neglected Diseases Initiative. He was earlier Dean and Head of Pharmacology, AIMS, New Delhi. He is a Vice Chairman of Standing National Committee on Medicines, MOHFW, Government of India, Member Standing Committee on Affordable Medicines and Health Products. He is member of Governing Body, National Doc Testing Lab, Government of India, National Institute of Immunology, DBT, Regional Center of Biotechnology, DBT, Chairman, National GLP, Technical Committee, DST, Chairman, Bharat Immunological and Biological Corporation Limited. So he's President of National Societies of Alternative to Animals. He has been Founder President, Indian Society of Nanomedicine, former President, Indian Pharmacological Society. So he's National Scientific Coordinator, Pharmacovigilance Program of India, Convener, India Initiate Program, Indian Pharmacological Society. So Dr. Gupta has earlier served as Director, CSIR IITR, which is Indian Institute of Toxicology and Research, Lucknow. So Dr. Gupta has been honored with several awards. I am listing few of them, like National Academy of Medical Sciences, FAMS, Indian Pharmacological Society, FIPS, National Academy of Sciences, FNASC, Indian Academy of Neurosciences, FIAN, and Society of Toxicology, FST. So he's member of Task Force of PAC, PRC of DCT, DBT, ICMR, and CSIR. Dr. Gupta was a chairman of subcommittee Industry Academia Collaboration for Pharmaceutical Research and Development under chairmanship of Secretary, Department of Pharmaceuticals. He has been actively involved in NPPPA for several years as an expert committee member. He has also been actively involved in different capacities, such as chairman and member of academic committee, selection committees of almost all NIPERs like Mohali, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Raebareli, Hajipur, and Guwahati. And this was, believe me or not, I downloaded his CV, which was more than 45 pages. So I have cut it down, and I know it will be very difficult to summarize all the things. So with this short, summary, now I would request Sir to deliver his, lecture. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar. Namaskar to everybody. And I would request all of you, or maybe some of you, to please raise your hand if you are able to hear me, so that we know that, yes, our connectivity is there. Also, that's great. So this raising hand not only confirms that we are now connected through the video conference, but it also say when somebody puts like this, that means you are giving Ashirwad to me, and we are now connected better. So thank you very much for this connectivity. And when I say Ashirwad, I would say not to individual you, but I am seeking Ashirwad from Punjab University, Central University of Punjab, which is one of the most reputed University of Punjab. So I'm fortunate to be one of the speakers in this series. So thank you very much, Dr. Puneet and Dr. Rajkumar, for considering me, and my extreme thanks, regards to Dr. Raghavendra Tiwari ji, Vice Chancellor of this university. The point which has been, I have been asked to talk on, what we can, or what a graduate, postgraduate, or postdoctoral person with pharmacy background can do as a profession or as a career. Very simple, very tricky subject. And I will not make any slide PPT, and I will not make any structured talk. I will just talk of my experience, and I will just, so maybe at many places you may agree, or you may not agree to it. And I would just say, first thing, that if you just see how many colleges of pharmacy we have today, plenty. To that extent that there was a time when the seats, and even I do not know today, seats of M.Pharma in many pharmacy colleges was not filled, because the seats were much more. There was a time, few years back, 10 years back, when there was very high competition for getting M.Pharma or PhD or a seat in B.Pharma also. Today, you can get seats go waste. But there is a differential thing. In good academic institution, there is a competition. Still there is a long list. People aspire for get admission. There are in some institutions, the seat go waste. Why? Because the reputation which the institution has produced, and the reputation institution produces is because of two reasons. One is, what is the curriculum of this institution and what is the trained person which come out of this, and what trained person means after passing out, how these students are placed, how these students are performing, and what their institutions, what there is the feedback. That is how the institution is known. Institution is getting NRIF ranking, institution is giving the ranking by different academic organization, but in the eye of the public, the most impact is seen that how the product is behaving in the market. In the market means in the career field. Mr. Murthy, who was the Infosys chairman, he was asked, sir, you are plenty of engineers, technocrats in India, and still large employment. The engineers, if you just put it a data entry operator's job advertisement, there will be 50% will be the engineers, and that's what we have found from different institutions. And I was worried, यार ये engineers लोग data entry operator के लिए क्यों apply कर रहे हैं? Now there are two important things. His answer was to that is, qualification is less important. We have to see that people are employable. So there is a difference. Qualification for employment versus employability.
Sir, there is some, I guess, network issue from your side.
It is a self-employment or whether it's employment in some organization, and how to increase the possibility of this employment. So if I just see, there are a few criteria which you might have seen, which you might have experienced. In childhood, the most important attribute in a child was intelligence quotient, IQ. And you might have seen that your parents or teachers must be appreciating, oh, मेरा बच्चा ये है, इसका IQ तो बहुत तगड़ा है, 1 मिनट में 2 into 2 कितना होता है बता देता है, अभी नर्सरी में नहीं है, and so on and so forth. And that means it shows that what is intelligence the child had, and that he is one of the very important, and he carries that intelligence, or whether that intelligence dies or improves, but he is intelligent. But then he comes to class 10 or maybe class 12, and he hardly spends any time, he doesn't work much. Whereas the less intelligent person, relatively, I'm not saying absolutely no intelligence, but he relatively less intelligent person works for 4 hours, 6 hours, and somebody spends much more time. I'm not talking of exceptions कि यार ये तो लड़का पढ़ता भी नहीं था, ये टॉप कर गया, ऐसा नहीं, बहुत कम होता है. So there, intelligence के साथ साथ में, ये intelligence के साथ साथ में, now it is what is that, a DQ, diligence quotient, कितनी मेहनत करा. What is the diligence quotient? If you are giving good time to your work in a focused manner, when I am telling diligence means you are putting your energy in a channelized manner, in a focused manner, your intelligence will run together, but the importance, relative importance of your diligence is there. So when you say diligence, वो गधा भी काम करता है, वो गधा अपने पीठ पे लेके सामान चला जाता है, बहुत diligent है, लेकिन वो diligent के साथ साथ में intelligent नहीं है. So diligence is good, साथ साथ में intelligent is good, and intelligence में सब चीज आती है. Here the intelligence is, तो एक गधे को चल दो, एक भेड़ को चला दो, भेड़ होती है एक के पीछे एक चलती जाती है, वो एक जाती भेड़, उसके पास सैकड़ों भेड़ जाती है, जैसे कैसे, इसीलिए इसको हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं भेड़ चाल. What is भेड़ चाल? Because they don't apply their intelligence, they just move behind somebody. So there is a no leadership quality in this भेड़ चाल. एक भेड़ अगर नाले में गिर गई तो हो सकता है सारी की सारी भेड़ उसमें गिर जाए, वो बचने के उनमें इंटेलिजेंस अप्लाई नहीं किया, लीडरशिप क्वालिटी नहीं है. And what is required now here is that you do not become bhed chal. So what you become is a sher chal, sher, line, sher. शेर चलता है इंडिपेंडेंट चाल, एंड शेर के लिए बोलते हैं चीज हिंदी में, जो लोग यहाँ पे हिंदी के ज्ञानी हैं, लीक लीक गाड़ी चले, लीक, यू नो लीक, एनीबडी नोस लीक? लीक मीन्स पगडंडी. पगडंडी मीन्स, पगडंडी तो पता होगा ना, पगडंडी इज, those who are listening in this table, I can see, please raise your hand if you know pagdandi. If you don't know pagdandi, I feel pity that in India we do not know pagdandi also. Because pagdandi देखने को ही नहीं मिलती ना हिंदुस्तान में, सब शहर में पैदा हो गए. Pagdandi means if you just go in a village and then you see there is small, लोग 20 लोग 100 लोग चलते जाते हैं, इसमें छोटा सा मार्ग बन जाता है, लोग उसी में जाके रोड बना देते हैं. So शेर कभी जो है ना किसी दूसरी इस पे नहीं चलता, शेर अपने रास्ता बनाता है. तो लीक लीक गाड़ी चले, बैलगाड़ी जाते हैं ना, तो दोनों तरफ उसका मार्ग बन जाता है, so that becomes road for him. लीक लीक चले, लीके चले कपूत, जो कपूत, don't ask me what is कपूत. एक सपूत होता है, कपूत होता है. Now बिन लीके तीनों चले, सायर सिंह सपूत. So now you tell me what you want to be. You want to be saput, and therefore you should not necessarily follow what your seniors have done, what your senior to seniors have done, what has been the world is doing. You do think something new, think something innovative, think something what differently you can do. What I sometimes when you interview, when you examine somebody, क्या करना चाहोगे? टीचर बनेंगे. क्या करना चाहोगे? पीएचडी करेंगे. अरे यार इसके अलावा भी कुछ है, सोचो. Not necessarily that you don't do it, but then somebody who replies differently than others will get differential mark, and differential mark will definitely, I will not give him less than what he deserves, but I will definitely give him more than what he could have thought of, because he has thought of at least innovative thing. So the first thing is IQ. IQ gradually becomes less, then it becomes DQ is more important. Now, if I say a person who is intelligent, a person like assistant professor you become, or maybe you become professor, or you become the senior research fellow, you are absolutely intelligent, you are diligent, but when somebody says that you are not performing well, or in one of the assessment you thought that you will get 100 marks, you got 50 marks, or कभी आपका assessment promotion हुआ तो आपको किसी वजह से promote नहीं हुए. You are intelligent, you are diligent, you go into depression for 20 days, maybe for months or for whole year, or you go into frustration, or you just abuse your boss, means you lack emotional quotient. EQ, you lack emotional quotient. आज आपके टीचर ने, आपको गाइड ने डांट दिया, और particularly if I addressing young people, आज आपकी गर्लफ्रेंड ने आपको कुछ कह दिया कि यार मैं तो आज उसके साथ जा रही है, तुम्हारे पास पैसा वैसा नहीं है, आप टूट गए. और ऐसा टूटे कि आप 6 महीने तक आपने क्लास ही अटेंड बंद करना कर दिया, आप बन गए क्या कहते हैं, देवदास. इमोशनली यू आर नॉट स्ट्रांग. emotionally you are so fragile that this does not work in the leadership. This does not work in your professional career. And you have to be emotionally strong. And sometimes, if you might have seen, in those who have seen the movie Three Idiots, देखा है ना, किसी ने देखा होगा, मैं कहा सब नहीं देखा होगा, yeah. So Three Idiots. So he was the boy was being interviewed and was asked uncomfortable question, if you say. तो इंटरव्यू में आपको तो सोचते ना कि हमसे उल्टे पुल्टे सवाल पूछे उसने, अरे उल्टे पुल्टे सवाल पूछना इज वन ऑफ द ट्रिक इन द इंटरव्यू, so that you are put at an emotionally disturbing situation, and then असली चीज आपकी उससे तब निकल के आती है कि आप कैसे बिहेव करते हैं. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि आपका एमएससी का वाइवा हो रहा है, पीएचडी का वाइवा नहीं. इट इज इन हायर लेवल इंटरव्यू व्हेन यू आर डूइंग फॉर एमडी और मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर सीईओ की पोजीशन पे हैं, तब आपका जो इंटरव्यू होता है तो दे असेस योर इमोशन, that are you balanced answer, and you see he answered very confidently, very balanced manner. उसको कहा कि सब आप अपनी रखिए. He and then he was offered a job. भाई साहब कहाँ जा रहे हो, कितना लोगे? How balanced was the scene? So that is what is the emotional quotient is. He kept his integrity, he kept his confidence, and he showed his determination, and that was the emotional quotient. अगर कोई दूसरा होता तो हो सकता है रिस्पॉन्ड कुड हैव बीन, अरे साहब आप तो सच सिफारिशी को दे देते हो, हम तो नहीं करते. दिस इज द इमोशनल क्वेश्चन. नाउ यू मे से, अगर कोई तीनों चीजें, आईक्यू भी ठीक है, ईक्यू भी ठीक है, इमोशनल भी बैलेंस है, विल ही रीच टॉप? परहैप्स ही विल रीच मच हायर. बट दोज पीपल हु हैव एन एडिशनल qualification, not on paper qualification, is AQ. AQ is your attitude. What is your attitude? Now suppose the vice chancellor of Punjab Central University says that I want today, आज मुझको यहाँ पे इमरजेंसी है, एक 50 फुट गहरा कुआं खोदना है. I want volunteers. And it may require 24 hours working without tea, without cup of coffee, or without biscuit. And then there will be only 2 volunteers that turn up. बाकी किसी ने कहा कि साहब मेरे को ये काम है, किसी ने कहा ये काम है. This shows the positive attitude, initiative, ready to fight, take risk, and take the risk challenges which others are not ordinarily willing to. So in that process, you have distinguished yourself from those who are followers with those who are, you have identified as a leader. You have identified that yes, you are the risk-taking person, capacity of risk. And those who take risk only, they get success. Those who do not take risk, they get medium success. And those who take risk, they get failure, they get success. And those who take calculated risk, they get more chances of success. And then
पुनीत सर एक बार फोन करना, शायद उनका डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया. हेलो पुनीत सर, कर रहे हो आप फोन?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
working again? Is it connected again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now connected.
Okay. So to begin with, IQ, then DQ, then EQ, then AQ. Remember these 4 things. So keep these 4 things in life. Now, as far as the pharmacy is concerned, the person. I would say, I talk these things for MBA colleges, but I thought that this is important for all of you also. Now, if once you go from college, and what you can do and what your colleagues can do, हमने सोचा कि भैया हमारे तो 80% मार्क्स है, and therefore I am topper. I have a 10 publication, therefore I should get this job. But when you are, and so that will be when, then this is so objective कि भैया हमने एक क्वेश्चन के इतने मार्क्स रखे हैं, एक पेपर के इतने ईयर का एक्सपीरियंस, and that is where you will get it. But when in real life situation, you are assessed in total holistically. And then if I am going to industry, if I am going to say, for example, I want to go in a laboratory, maybe I want to go to Cadila, I want to go to Cipla, I want to go any pharmaceutical industry, or I want to go to in a drug testing laboratory, in a manufacturing laboratory, or in a research laboratory. So now if I am an employer, I will say, अच्छा बेटा आ जाओ, तुम यहाँ पे drug testing laboratory में आए हो, wonderful, you have done from this university, Punjab National University, and this and this. Can you tell me what is the principle of good laboratory practices? What are the deficiencies? What is the audit? अरे आपने कहा भैया ये तो हमारे सिलेबस में था नहीं, ये था लेकिन बड़े पासिंग ऑर्डर में था, लेकिन भैया हमको तो उसी की जरूरत है. सो आर यू एम्प्लॉयबल? आपने क्या उसको डायरेक्शन में सोचा है? आपने अगर जीएलपी का प्रिंसिपल नहीं पता, जीएलपी की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं पता, जीएलपी कितनी लैब्स कंट्री में है ये नहीं पता, तो आप कहोगे नहीं जी 90% तो जीएलपी लोग तब सीखते हैं जब इंडस्ट्री में ज्वाइन कर लेते. तो अब बताओ, इफ आई एम एम्प्लॉयर, आई विल टेक ए पर्सन and train him for 6 months, pay for his salary, or I will prefer a person who is already exposed to the concept of GLP or trained in GLP. Definitely the second person will be my choice. And therefore, in a national committee which I chaired, I said this because I am chairman of National GLP Technical Committee. We organized several sensitizing workshops for GLP to pharmacy and medical institutions. Because we have to train the scientists, the pharmacists for their employability. What country needs today? Now, if you are going to a manufacturing unit maybe, and you are not fully aware of what are the regulations, what are the schedule Y, and what is the GMP का कौन-कौन से clause हैं under regulation, and जीएमपी में कितने डोर्स होते हैं, तो हमको क्या फायदा आपको लेने से? हम आपको फिर ट्रेन करेंगे. सो द ट्रेनिंग ऑफ जीएमपी, exposure of the students in GMP units is important. So don't limit yourself. Maybe your college is not sending or not able to send because of many reasons to any good manufacturing unit. Make an effort, make connection with industry. Go to their manufacturing unit, establish personal rapport with that, and visit them and understand, read what is GMP, tally with what is happening, and then say what are the manufacturing GMP, what is the WHO GMP, what is the difference between WHO GMP and GMP, what is the regulatory requirement if you have to send drug to export. That is important. A lot of job opportunities today in a clinical research. Clinical trials today, tremendous clinical trials are coming up. Now, I want to appoint a lot of appointment as a clinical research monitor, clinical investigators, and coordinators, plenty of jobs. What they see, they look for. Have you been trained? Are you aware of good clinical practices? Are you aware of what is consent form? Are you aware of what is assent form? Are you aware of what is compensation? Are you aware of what is the CGLP? You say कि हमने तो सुना है. And majority of the time when we interview what is GMP, he will say good clinical practice. Arey bhai, I am not asking you full form of this. I am asking you what is the philosophy, what are the steps, what are the regulatory requirements, and what will happen if you don't follow this. So employability will increase if you have obtained a formal training, attended formal workshop on these topics, which will demonstrate that you have a knowledge of this. And also, if you have worked as an apprentice or as an exposure in any of this. So today, what is required that if there is a clinical trial going on under your knowledge, get to know with them, talk to them, make friendship with them, and then you will find out that you have opened opportunity for yourself in Indian Council of Medical Research, clinical trial units, the entire unit, Department of Biotechnology, you have done it. There are a lot of jobs which are there in Indian Council of Medical Research, Department of Biotechnology, DBT, CSIR, scientist की positions निकलती हैं बहुत. Scientist B, C, D, E, F.
सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही, डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया. म्यूट.
हेलो.
हाँ जी सर, कर रहे हैं दोबारा ज्वाइन सर.
हाँ, hope so, sir. I think so. There is some network problem.
Yes.
That's why.
ऑन करें क्या सर?
Just a minute, sir. मैं कर रहा हूँ.
जिम्मे में
सर वो कर रहे हैं सर कनेक्ट.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So thank you. My apologies because the internet went off. So I had
Okay.
connected it my hotspot now.
Okay.
So what I was telling that you need to have these additional skills with you. You have to have a proficient in GLP. You have to be proficient in GMP. You have to be proficient in GCP. And you have to be proficient if you are working on any regulatory, maybe then you have to be aware of what is NDCT rule. See what happened even today, many of the professors of pharmacy in the medical colleges, when they teach regulation, they say कि शेड्यूल वाई में ये लिखा हुआ है. अरे भाई शेड्यूल वाई खत्म हो चुका 1921 में, 1919 में. And now it is not schedule Y, it is now drugs, new drug and clinical trial rule 2019, which has been replaced, and I was chairman of that. So now if you say schedule Y, that means you yourself are not ignorant about the regulatory process. जब आपको किताब का टाइटल ही नहीं पता तो अंदर कैसे पता होगा? So you have to make yourself more employable. So that is so the job opportunities, if I say, in the different laboratories for which you have to prepare specifically for that, your training has to be oriented towards that, and then you have to have these places. Now, the important thing is, जब हम कहीं पूछते हैं ना कि तुम क्या करोगे उसके बाद में, तो कहता है नौकरी करेंगे. अरे भाई नौकरी करो, that is one thing. It's not so important that you do a job, you become a job seeker. The courageous thing is that you think of, can you become job provider? And job provider के पास होने के लिए सिर्फ दो चीजें जरूरत होती हैं. One is you have to have a courage. That means you have to have a risk taking capability, and then you have to have a support. That is second thing. Now risk taking capacity is your responsibility. Supporting you is the government of India is now supporting, but you should be aware of where the supports are. Now, a lot of academic institutions are developing, are having the what is called as a the training centers, or academic institutions have the industry partnership, or they have a startup incubation center. So if you just see Google, there are so many schemes, even to the extent Department of Biotechnology funds what is called as a idea scheme, give you up to 5 lakh rupees. Funding opportunities in Department of all the places, funding about startup. Good idea, make a startup with BIREC, DBT, they will give you funding, and you are incubated in IIT, NIPERS, and in some colleges. You incubate it for some years, and then they will give you the technical support, and then they will connect you with the industries. You identify what are the puts. So when you do in startup, you look for कि country में क्या जरूरत है, and then you think that हमको तो यार जरूरत है कि सिर्फ एक syringe needle की जगह हमको ऐसी syringe चाहिए जिसमें कि ये जो नोक है ये उसको हमको डिस्ट्रॉय करने के लिए बाद में हमको बड़े इजीली डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाए. और simple what is called as an incremental innovation, whether in device or you think in the tablet, you want to develop a patch or you want to develop a sustained release, you have identified. So what is the important thing is you have to identify the gap in the knowledge, you have to identify the gap in the requirement device, and you have to identify. See, lots of innovation have been done during COVID time, lot of maximum. हमने वेंटिलेटर, एक लुधियाना का एक कंपनी है, उसने वेंटिलेटर बना दिया जिसमें कि कोई भी इंपोर्टेड पार्ट नहीं था. And now he got so much grant, and if you just go to Visakhapatnam, there is a innovation center. This is called the MTZ. Just Google it. So I inaugurated some of those stalls here. Now this is the hub into 60 acres land only for innovators financing. The financing are available. Cheap financing, loan financing, and risk padding. Risk padding means if there is a risk, then the government is diluting that risk for you. So you invest 10 rupees, government will put 190 rupees for that, depending on the seriousness of the project. So that is another thing. You should not restrict to this. Think that can you become the regulator of the country? And the regulators can be not only from the drug inspector, regulator can straightway from the examination now. This is opening gradually from deputy drug controller, joint drug controller, and drug controller. There is a lateral entry positions also. Start your medical publications. And for that, it's not necessarily that I will just give you an example. I had a discussion with one at 20 years back when he said, and this fellow comes, sir, ye jo hai, aap jo itna experiment, he was sitting with me and he was just watching that we are doing intracerebroventricular cannulation, stereotaxic apparatus. It requires so much of sophistication in tricky thing to operate, to do surgery. And then say how you know that this is reached the fourth ventricle or things like that. So we used to tell him that we now do the section and do histopathology, and this is all. He said, oh, but how you write this in your article? He said, can we write the methodology? See, simple idea, it clicked to him, usne pura photograph liya, and now he runs a e-journal, which is only pictorial journal, which does not publish the article, which says, यार ये आपका जो पूरा वीडियो है, वीडियो का ही हमने जर्नल बना दिया, न्यू टेक्निक एंड देन जर्नल. Now, what idea? So, can you think of like this? Innovative. Now, he has now becoming the only publication in what is called as a online research methodology journal. You develop something new, and that will become your copyright. That is the idea. Can you think of, you have given 20 lectures, recorded. I did not do it because I was not wise enough at that time, but you do it. Give wonderful lectures, edit them, put them on the YouTube, connect them, make a CD of that, sell them, earn money. So knowledge to wealth is important thing. We did not do that. We did knowledge for free. Knowledge for free is good, but if you are earning wealth from knowledge, that's equally good. So do that. Why don't you open a university? Why don't you open a college? The people who have no knowledge but only have money, employ knowledgeable people, earn, make university, and then they employ you and me. And then, but you did not do it, you cannot do it, because you don't have courage, you do not have risk-taking capacity. So Lalas of today are the employers of the most knowledgeable lot of the country. Right? That is good, because they are good in that. But we think that we are not good in that. So just think out of box. And who are the most deterrent to this? Your peers. Arey yaar, वो तो गया क्रिकेट खेलने में गया था, हर एक का छक्का तो लगता नहीं है. Everybody doesn't become the Ranji player or test player. 98% become the cricket खेलने जो जाते हैं वो बाद में लफंगे बन जाते हैं. Because they do not reach up to the college level, they do not reach up to the state level, and they do not reach up to the celebrities, and therefore there is a risk, high risk involved. And therefore, if such thing happens, it does not mean that हम cricket नहीं खेलेंगे. What is important thing that you have to have a second line thinking also. That is called as a strategic working. So strategy right from the beginning, and then see, at this stage, I am Principal Strategy Advisor India to GNDI and GARDP. So now at this stage, we are working on a strategy. But you see, the successful politician, they are from the right day, they are a strategy. कि किसके साथ जुड़े हैं, and then you see today in the election, this is a strategy. Today you are with him, today. So what is strategy? Is the identifying the opportunity at the right time and catching the opportunity at the right time. That is the only strategy. And that is what the person after having qualification should be. So today's in परिपेक्ष जिसे हम कहते हैं, qualification is not only acquiring degree, that is only the passport. For getting the passport, you cannot go anywhere without passport. So degree is your passport. Getting visa is an additional qualification. आपको वीजा यहाँ से यूएस का मिला, यूके का मिला, वो आपको पासपोर्ट के बाद है, तो ये वीजा है आपका। और वीजा के बाद में आप यूएसए में पहुंच गए, वहां पे पहुंच गए, वहां पे नौकरी मिलना is more additional qualification. So don't say that you are employable because just you have a passport. No way. You have to get visa, and after visa you have to go there, and then you have to prove yourself. So that is something very important. And if I say, lastly, the important thing which I always say is, at childhood, your parents are the most important. But once you are in the academic and professional, your peers are important. इसीलिए हम कहते हैं ना गुरु. And also your peers means your colleagues are important. And that's why alumni are very important. And if you just see, the biggest good example of alumni is Stanford, Harvard. अरे एक हार्वर्ड का होता है ना इंडिया में, वो कहता है यार हार्वर्ड का वो 10 लोग और इंडिया में, उन सबका डिनर करता है, चाहे ये कलकत्ता में हो, चाहे यहाँ पे हो, यहाँ पे. He will remember all हार्वर्ड से कहाँ पे आए. लेकिन उससे पूछो कि पंजाब सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी के बड़े बड़े लोग कहाँ पे हैं, तो उसको 10 लोगों के नाम के आगे याद नहीं होगा. उसको 100 लोगों की लिस्ट उसके पास शायद ही हो. एंड यू नो, इफ यू आर फीलिंग प्राइड ऑफ योर इंस्टीट्यूशन, you will always remember who are my colleagues. And that's why in NIRF ranking, there is a alumni. Knowing alumni is one thing. The role of alumni is support your alumni always. अगर आपके पास 10 कैंडिडेट नौकरी के लिए आए हैं, तो आप 10 नंबर उसके लिए अपने alumni के लिए रख दो. ये नहीं कि आप गधे को भी ले लो. Some marks on your pocket you keep for your alumni. And once you become multi-millionaire, at least 10% you should keep for your alumni. IIT in India, IIT and MBAs, IIMs, and IISc, these are some good examples of alumni. And there's some other institutions also. They always support. This culture should also be in all of us. But it does not mean that we do not encourage others. It's not pakshpat. No. But अगर हम कहें कि हमारे पास 2 पेन हैं, इसमें चार्जर लगाना है, एक चाइना का बना है, एक हिंदुस्तान का बना है, तो हम कहेंगे किसका लोगे? बहुत बढ़िया चाइना का लग रहा है, हम तो चाइना का नहीं ले रहे, हिंदुस्तान का. तो लोग कोई कहेगा आप पक्षपात कर रहे हो. यस, हम गर्व से कहेंगे कि हम पक्षपात कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज देयर इज अ रीजन फॉर डूइंग दिस बायस. सो दैट इज, आई एम सेइंग, व्हेन यू आर डूइंग favoring alumni, there is no harm, but you need to be justified. So I really enjoy. My bad habit is I can go on continuing on this subject. I enjoy talking to you, but this is something wonderful, great talking to you all, and great talking on the occasion, which is a foundation day, I understand, of Central University of Punjab. And I wish that all of those who have passed their B.Pharm, M.Pharm, PhD or MBA, they not only get employment, but they reach level of excellence where they are employed. And when they look back, they will feel pride of their institution. First, they should feel pride of their parents. Then they should feel of their institution, which has made them. And then always remember one thing. In life, there are some individuals who have changed your life. Some events which have changed your direction. Some memory which you will never erase. Some bad memories which you must immediately erase. That is the most important thing. So thank you very much. Enjoyed talking to you, those I can see, and my regards, greetings to those who I cannot see. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for enlightening us with your visionary words on the right way to find the success in life. Yes, sir. I think so. Okay. I also think so. Okay. Success is always equal to hard work plus intelligence. And to become a successful in life, we need a leadership quality, positive attitude. And I hope so. Okay. Every student or everyone on this platform, virtual platform, understand IQ, AQ, DQ, and EQ. So I again thanks to you for connecting with us. Now I would like to invite Dr. Suresh Thareja, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Natural Products, for a formal vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Puneet.
Sir, to hai nahi.
I'm audible. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Puneet. A very good afternoon, respected all. First of all, I'm thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, for his dynamic leadership. He's the driving force behind this successful Foundation Week lecture series. He has always motivated us to achieve excellence in the area of not only academia, but in research also. You know, in his leadership, we achieved many milestones and still many more to come. So thank you so much, sir. So on behalf of Central University of Punjab, CUPB family, and especially Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Natural Product, I would like to extend my thanks to our eminent speaker of the day, Professor YK Gupta, sir, who spared his valuable time out of his busy schedule and enlightened us with his thoughtful views. First, sir, your talk was really inspiring. You have covered all the arenas of opportunities for pharmaceutical professionals. You have discussed the importance of diligent quotient with the IQ and EQ. You have well discussed with the example like Bhed Chal and Sher Chal. You have discussed the importance of calculating, taking calculated risk with to achieve success. You have well discussed the example like we should be in our pharmacy professional should be proficient in terms of GLP and GCP along with other regulatory requirement, which is very need of the hour also. You have well discussed that we have to identify the gap and then we have to grab that opportunity. Sir, you have well addressed the basic problem like our pharmacy graduates, they lack. So listening your talk is always a dream for any pharmacy professional, especially pharmacy student, and it's like a dream come true opportunity for all the pharmacy graduate of Central University of Punjab today. And so thanks once again, sir. Hopefully in the near future you will physically come to Central University of Punjab campus and motivates us and guide us so that we can achieve those success. Thank you so much, sir. I'm also thankful to our Dean, Professor Rajkumar, sir. He's actually our head of the department also. And Dr. Puneet, head of the department pharmacology, to pursue and arrange this talk within that short span of time. So thank you so much, sir. I'm also thankful to all the faculty member and non-teaching member present here. And thanks to all the participants, especially the young students who are watching you and listening you. I guess your talk is like, they will be the most benefited out of this talk, sir. So once again, I thank one and all present here. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you, Puneet, sir, please. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar.
Thanks, Dr. Suresh. Thank you, sir. Again, now I request to all, please rise for the national anthem.
Puneet sir, it's not working.
No, just a minute, sir.
आशीष मांगे काहे तब जय गाथा मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Video. Thank you.